Good morning, everyone, on this first AI in insurance conference online. Um, we are very, very, very excited that we got over 200 people registering on this first seminar. Most of them said, can you send us the recordings afterwards, which we will do. So there is no need to record. You can send it, you can expect it after the seminar. Um, Thank you so much for being here. Um, in 2008, I started a company called Autodata, which we sold successfully in 2012. And then we started eData with a newer version of AI, which was not known that time as the word AI. And we have to be careful that AI does not become a buzzword. AI is a real profession. And while I'm walking through our office, I can tell you that the past 14 years was quite a challenge. So first of all, next to me is Frederick. He will join later, of course. And I am very proud that we are now with more than 30 people in data and in vehicle data. And this is our, let's say, intelligent data room. We have our own developers. We are with uh, our own AI developers, front-end developers, back-end developers. And when AI was not really AI yet, we already start using data to increase profitability in the insurance market. And it was not an easy journey. The first years were very, very challenging. It was not easy to persuade insurance companies using data, but gradually more and more insurance companies started to use data. And I'm proud, as you can see, 20 years in Dubai, a lot of prominent people started to realize that AI will not steal your business, but companies using AI, they will steal your business. So I'm very, very, very excited that so many people joined this seminar. Soon you will get an update how we will progress more. And I'm more than happy to introduce Frederick for the ones who don't know yet. Frederick is 15 years in the region. He's the AI guru #1 in insurance technology. And I'm very, very happy to hand over everything to Frederick. Thank you so much for being here and looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Pascal, and welcome everybody. So that was a very good introduction. So thanks everybody for this. Let me share my screen and give you a brief overview of what we'll be talking about today. So obviously we will talk about the AI advances. We'll be talking about how AI can be used in the insurance industry, and give you some practical ideas to how you can get started as insurance companies. Because one thing is reading and hearing about AI all over the place. Another thing is understanding how to use it, and a third thing is how do we actually get started. And that is the topic of today. Now, Pascal already gave you a good idea of our company, but let me just tell you that eData is all about vehicle data. And we have decades of vehicle data. We have decades of experience in decoding the vehicle data using machine learning, even before it was known as machine learning. And then the last couple of years, what is now known as AI, to make sure that the data quality is correct, but also to use AI as predictive analysis, as improvements to underwriting products and to claims management products. I'm not going to talk about this too much today, but you can see from the numbers here that it's quite significant numbers that we're working with. I mean, we are gathering around 200 million data points per year, and has done so since 2008, 2013. Today, we want to talk about where our industry is going. I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes now on my view on where's the future of insurance headed and why that's important. I'll deep down into some specific use cases for the insurance industry. And what I want to talk about is the concept that we like to call non-intrusive products. Because as Pascal said, I've been working as a C-level executive for insurance companies the last 15 years. And I know for a fact when you have processes, products that affects your existing workflows in the insurance industry, that affects your legacy systems, that affect your ways of working, then it's just difficult. It takes time to get done. And if you want to get started with AI and reap the benefits from AI, you have to look at what we call non-intrusive solutions. Non-intrusive solutions are solutions that does not interfere with your existing workflows, that does not interfere with your systems or your culture. And that means you can use these products immediately and gain the benefits. So, and continuing on this, I'll give you some examples, and we'll also have a discussion about, all right, fair enough. Now we believe that we have to get started with AI. We are interested in getting started with AI. So how do we do it? Because it's also a fact that our beloved industry is not the fastest moving industry in the market, and you have to get started anyway. So I'll be talking about some of the common obstacles that insurers are meeting when you want to do new things and how to overcome these obstacles. I believe the chat is open, so if there's any questions, then right away, and whenever I stop for a second to catch my breath, I'll take a look at it and see if I can answer any questions. I mean, we are here to learn from each other, right? So please make sure to reach out if there's something that makes no sense you want me to elaborate on or speak too fast or whatever, right? So anyway, thanks for being here. I'm really happy to see so many people joining. Now let's take a step back and see where our industry, our insurance industry, is headed. I see 5 or 6 areas that are worth mentioning. When we're looking at the way that we underwrite, we manage our relationships with the customers, we've been doing the same the last 10, 15, maybe even 100 years. We will see in the future a shift for insurers starting to look more being proactive in the way that they manage the relationships with the customers. Today we are reactive. We look at the historical loss ratios, we look at our IBNRs, the predictions, and that's it. We don't do much to help our customers prevent accidents from happening. You've all read about it. You read about telematics. You hear about wellness trackers and all this. It's not taking off yet at all in our region. It will, I guess, in the next 5 to 6 years, but it's not something that's coming tomorrow, but it's something that we as insurers, they need to be aware of because it affects the way that we do underwriting. It affects the way that we do customer communications, because all of a sudden we have to be much more proactive in the way that we speak with our customers. Following this, AI will be in everything, and I will go as far as to claim that it already is. I mean, I would assume all of you listening to me right now are using Google Maps and your iPhones or Android phones every day, which means that you're already very accustomed to using AI. So AI will just be there more and more, and not only for the way that we interact with our customers, but also the way that we interact with our daily lives in the company. One of the things that I also talk about, I'll just give you a brief example now, is using generative AI to map legacy and technical debt in organizations. One of the largest inhibitors for insurers to get digital development done fast is technical debt. I'm not going to get into that in detail today, but generative AI is a fantastic tool to help mapping the technical debt and therefore reduce the development times in the insurance industry. As a part of AI, you will also see parametric or microinsurance come up, and that's going to be a subset or a part of what we call advanced digital distribution channels. You've probably heard and read a lot about the concept of embedded insurance. I'm not going to again get into too much detail about embedded insurance. We'll take this on the next webinar, but when we are talking about embedded insurance, most people, they see embedded insurance as yet another intelligent or smart distribution channel. And this is what it isn't. Embedded insurance is an insurance product that is a rider on another company's products. So in this case, the other company's products is the hero. This could be a TV that you're buying. This could be the travel that you are buying. It can be furniture for your house. It can be whatever. But embedded insurance is the rider on top of this. And when we are talking about embedded insurance, we have to remember that if the embedded insurance product in any way jeopardizes the sale of the hero product, which could be the TV, the travel, or whatever, the embedder will not allow the embedded insurance product to be there. That places a huge demand to the insurance companies to create much simpler, much easier products, much easier to integrate and to sell, and even more to claim. And this is also what we'll see in the future. We see, and I personally know, because I'm advising about it, several digital attackers coming, and digital attackers are large insurance companies who say, okay, we are starting to understand that we probably cannot move as fast as we want on the digital scene. So let's create a spin-off, a digital insurance company on the side. In Saudi, you've seen Taiwanese Tree done exactly that. And I can guarantee you, because I know that within the next 12 months, you'll see 2 or 3 more of these kinds. And that also threatens our industry because they don't have the operating expenses, they don't have the legacy, they don't have the costs that incumbent insurers have. And that leads me to the last point I want to talk about here. And when I look at the insurance industry in the Middle East or in general, then I guess I would say that most insurers are actually doing the acquisition journey quite well. The how to buy insurance digital journey is done quite well by most insurers. So there's not much to compete on there. Maybe you can compete on using digital tools to make the journey a little bit more easy or hassle-free. That's possible, but it's not really possible to compete much on the digital acquisition journey. I believe personally that the next battle will be on the claims experience. The insurance companies that we work with, which is basically all of them, I can say have advanced acquisition journeys, but when you come to the claims experience, it is still paper or digital PDFs going back and forth, manual intervention, manual approvals. It takes a long time. You don't get your money on time. Maybe the garage didn't deliver what they're supposed to. All these things frustrates the customer. I believe the insurers, the incumbent insurers who start focusing on the claims experience are the ones who will get an advantage or a competitive edge in the future. This is my future outlook, and there are many areas, but looking at it from an insurance industry perspective, looking at it from a DCC perspective, these are the things that we'll see happening over the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think too many of them will happen tomorrow. I know some of them will happen within the next 12 months, but it is very important for you to be aware of when you are starting to plan, how would you like to run your company? How would you like to look at your product development? How would you like to work with AI? Now, that being said, we also have some internal operational issues in the industry. I've already mentioned a few of them. We have our legacy systems that significantly hinders our speed to market, time to market. The legacy systems takes time to change. You have to go through a lot of impact analysis. You have to go through a lot of planning to do changes, digital changes. We have antiquated ways of servicing the customer, and I'll show you this in a few slides later, because we did a UAE-wide customer sentiment analysis, and it doesn't look pretty. And this is the customer's perception of the insurance industry. So I can say for a fact that the industry as a whole does not provide a very good customer experience. We are facing increasing operational costs. We are facing difficulty of getting the right people to work for us. I mean, insurance industry, face it, is not the sexiest industry in the world. And if you are interested in financial services, then you will likely look towards the banks, which are much, much faster moving than insurance. And at the end of this, we also have rising claims costs, especially in motor, where the cars become more and more advanced. We're looking at electrical vehicles, which also have a completely new way of repairing, which increases the repair costs. So our industry as such is also facing a lot of operational challenges. And apart from this, we we have the market challenges, we have the change in customer expectations. And this is one of my pet peeves, because in the insurance industry, we are always very good at comparing us to each other. And I'm guilty of doing exactly the same in the next couple of slides. But this is not what our customers they're doing. Of course, they might be comparing our prices, but they are comparing the experiences from where they just left off to come to our website, which is the Googles, the Amazons, the Netflix of the world. And this is what our customers, they expect. They expect always on service, hassle-free. They expect that everything is handled digitally without human interaction if they don't want. And in such, there are many market challenges facing us as well. Adding to this is the customer sentiment. We did this customer sentiment for all insurance companies in the UAE and also now for the Saudi market. And you can see here, the red one is unfortunately, so the level here are this 31 of all of the insurance companies that I could fit in on this page. And what you can see, the red one is the percentage of customers which sentiment is negative about the insurance company. And out of these 31, I believe that is on this screen, you have to go all the way down to the 5 lowest just to get below 50% of dissatisfaction. So when I'm saying that our customer experience in the industry is not good, I know what I'm talking about, because this is a very comprehensive sentiment analysis. And just to give you a few more, I just made a little more granular here. And if you want to know more about this, please reach out to me after this meeting. I'd be very happy to go through it in detail, because it's 15,000 sentiments that have been analyzed using AI and machine learning solutions. But as you can see here, and this also pretty much supports what I said in the beginning, people are actually quite positive with the buying journey, the digital buying journey, the way that products are described and offered today, the pricing and everything. It's not that our customers are dissatisfied with this. When we go to the servicing and the claims experience, it's a completely different picture. And this is what we have to face as in the insurance industry. And 92% actually distrusts insurers. They feel there is a lack of clarity in what we're doing, and they don't necessarily subscribe to the reasoning we're giving when we are rejecting or reducing their claims. So as an industry, we are not in a super cool place. And this is another one. And this recording will be available after the meeting, so you can always go back and pause this one if you want to know more. And as I said, if you really want to know more about this analysis, just reach out to me. You know how to find me. So please do so. Now, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to, because I don't think anything will change our industry over the next 2 to 3 years. So if you're in a comfortable place where you are happy with the way things are, I don't think you have to do anything. This year and next year, maybe the year after, it's going to be fine. Maybe you'll see some stagnating development of your customer acquisition and this. But in general, if you're profitable now, I would predict that you're going to be profitable next year and the year after. But the insurers deciding to start working with AI, deciding to start working with their claims experience, with the overall customer experience, they will start gaining traction. They will start eating your cake, so to speak. So in 2 to 3 years, if you're not doing anything, you'll have a good 2 to 3 years. You don't have to rock the boat. But after that, you will see the insurers that start today or started yesterday with us, they will start to take the advantage of this and win market shares. I'm just saying this because it's very difficult for me to sit here and really shake you and say there is such a sense of urgency. You have to do something now, because I don't even believe that. I believe that you can leave this webinar now and go back and have a fairly good business the next couple of years. So it's very difficult for me to create this sense of urgency. But hopefully, when I'm saying in 2 to 3 years, when I'm sitting here, then it will have changed. And then if you lost your chance to stay or become a leader in the market. So what do you do if you want to do something, and especially with AI? And it's no secret then when we are talking about AI, a lot of us also thinks, but if AI and machine learning and computers, they take over, is there a job left for me? Yes, there is, but it might not be the job that you have today, because as Pascal said in the beginning, I don't think you'll be losing your job or your business to competition, your job to computers, but you lose your job to the competition or to the people who know how to use AI. I'm a firm believer in this. Just look at this: 66% of leaders who are recruiting today, they are recruiting people who have skills in AI. 66%. And that's an increasing number, of course. I mean, we also always ask people's experience with AI and Gen AI before we even want to talk to them, right? I put this quote here as an inspiration. The day the photography was invented, you had all the portraiture painters getting out of job, right? I mean, nobody's going to sit for 3 hours and be painted when you can sit for 1 minute and it's done. But that didn't stop painters, right? You still have a lot of painters making a lot of money. So they just diverted into creative portraiture. And we have to do the same. The things that we are doing today will likely be 70% taken over by AI and computers, but we have to use our brains, we have to use our experience to pivot into an adjacent field where we can actually continue to add value. So bear that in mind. I don't think we're going to lose our jobs, but we have an obligation to ourselves and our companies and our lives to understand AI, to understand the implications, to understand how do we work with it, how do I become proficient in AI? Because if you don't, yes, as I said, 2-3 years, maybe 4 years, everything will be fine, but then you'll lose your competitive edge as a person in the market as well. All right, AI in insurance. This BCG made this one, and it's fairly obvious where you can use AI. Customer service and support, absolutely. Underwriting, absolutely. Claims, absolutely. And then the fourth one, which is not as absolutely, but probably, if you ask me, the one with the biggest impact, using AI to understand your technical debt, using AI to document what you're doing in your legacy systems today to enable you to move faster in the future. This is much more complex, and this is very intrusive. But this is also one of the things, if you start thinking of investing in this as an insurer, you'll prepare for a brighter future. If I want to double click on some of these and say, okay, fine, how do we get started with this? Are there any examples, very simple examples, that allow us to get started with AI tomorrow? I can say, yes, there is. There is plenty of realistic use cases. I mean, advanced vehicle data using AI is one of them for your underwriting. Getting this very high quality foundation for your underwriting people in the future. And now is using AI. It's as simple as this: automated document reading for claims or for underwriting, categorizing this, allowing input to the underwriters, allowing input into your existing core systems. Is AI, again, very simple, highly effective. So for the risk profiling, for the underwriting, there are so many use cases that are what I call non-intrusive. You can get any advanced vehicle data lookup from us in a split second. But this is the foundation for this, the background for this is AI, and it's highly advanced. You'll never know, but you'll be able to reap the benefits simply by a non-intrusive connection. You can continue into claims management, where you have examples of products that are claims handling decision support. And again, here, using very advanced AI, you look at the claim at hand, you use AI based on a lot of rules, based on his history, based on benchmarking, to tell you this claim that you have here on hand, we didn't find any issues, we deem it green, you can continue. It can say, okay, we actually find some deviations from your history, from benchmarks, from the policy wording that we read. So we mark it orange. You might want to look into this specific claim. Or the policy wordings that we read compared with the police report that we read compared with this claim is not supported. It is not covered, rejected. Or now we can see that you've had this many fraudulent claims with these characteristics in the past. This one has the same characteristics. We don't recommend that you pay. The non-intrusiveness here is this specific AI tool is basically a traffic light. It gives you green, didn't find any issues. Orange, you might want to look into this. Or red, we found some issues. It doesn't change the way you work. And I think I have a slide. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about non-intrusiveness. So you basically you put your data, your claim outside into the magic AI, of course, in a fully secure, locally hosted manner, and the AI does its magic and return nothing but a recommendation to your team. No workflows are changed, no processes are changed, no systems were harmed in the process, and that makes it easy to start with. And when you start doing this and you start saying, okay, now using these systems reduces my loss ratio with 2, 3, 4 points, then you have a very strong business case for continuing and saying, okay, now maybe we have the arguments to start moving our processes and so forth. And that's what I'm talking about. Getting started with AI in this non-intrusive manner. And the simplest one, I just want to go back to this, the simplest one is of course, chatbots powered by large language models. It costs you $20 per month to have a chatbot that just 2 or 3 years ago would cost $20,000 to run per month, right? And again, fully non-intrusive. It learns by your policy wordings, policy documents, your rating tables. It takes a day to set up, and that's it, right? So there are so many realistic use cases, and basically no excuse for you not to getting started, right? But of course, when we are talking about getting started, I just leave this one for half a second. This is the insurers' focus on AI, and it's one of these consulting reports that are very, very interesting to read. But it gives you an idea of where management are focusing their effort. But the fewest of them actually do something about it because it's not easy. And I think, and that is one of my favorite sayings, if this was easy, somebody else would have done it already. So it's very easy for us to talk, and at least for me to sit here and talk about it. It's very difficult to get started. And there is a lot of factors affecting this. And I just want to address them because I think it's important when you decide, which I hope you do, when you decide to get started with AI in a smaller or larger scale, you also have to understand what you're up against, to be honest. And when I'm saying up against, and don't get me wrong here, but I'm saying up against, I'm talking about the internal resistance that you'll be facing. And there will be. There will be, trust me. And I hear it even from very advanced or senior managers that they don't want to look at AI for many reasons. So if you come and say, I think we should do something here in claims AI, then people they will resist you because they don't understand it. So I like to say when you're looking at organizational factors or factors stopping you from doing AI, or basically any digital transformation in insurance, to be honest, you can split it into structural factors and people factors. I've already touched somewhat on the structural factors. You have the legacy systems that makes things difficult to do. Basically, you have organizational culture. This is, I like to say when I'm talking to the insurers around the region, and they all, trust me, in all countries, they all have digital transformation projects. And I guess I can say truthfully that they all start talking about systems and system changes and front-end systems and low-code and no-code and APIs when they talk about digital transformation. I've been working with digital transformation for 22 years now, and I would never call it digital transformation. I only do it because then it's easier for people to understand what I'm talking about. In my world, it's business transformation, and business transformation is 80% people, culture, and 20% everything else, processes and systems. You can have the shiniest new tool, the shiniest new process system, but if people don't want to use it, it's just going to be just that, a shiny thing that is a lot of waste of money. I've seen cultures in the insurance where people, they are dying to do change. They're really dying to do something new, and they do better than other insurers using Excel. So culture is fantastically important when you start working with change, AI or any other change. And then, which I think is more symptomatic for the region here, is the it's a short-term focus. The board of directors, the investors, and then the senior management of insurance companies, they're quarterly results driven, and larger transformation projects, larger AI projects takes 9-12 months to reap the benefits, maybe even more. Which means that if you want to start AI and then you're an insurance company, you probably have to plan for starting the project or getting approvals at the end of the year, so you have the full next year to show that it makes good sense, unless you're doing these small, non-intrusive AI products that we spoke about earlier, because they give you the benefits in months or maybe even only weeks. So the lack of long-term commitments also stops you from doing larger things. From the people side, and again, because this is transformation, AI is new, a lot of us are feeling uncomfortable talking about it because we don't feel we know enough. We are worried that we'll fail. We are worried that maybe lack of capabilities, our incompetence, sorry for using this word, about this specific area will show to our boss if we engage in it and we show vulnerability that say we don't know about this, which leads to this NIH, not invented here syndrome. Because it's not invented here and it's something I'm worried about, I just better say no, because then I won't expose that I don't know about it. So this is it. And then you have the whole future of underwriting and automation in our industry. Our industry is one of the most obvious industries to automate, because we are working with data and big data, which is where underwriting and everything we're doing in claims management is perfectly suited for. But again, we're worried about our jobs, we're worried about the future. We don't believe that, or we don't want to believe that robots can do calculations better than we can. And these are some of the things that are stopping us from being successful. Now, we still have to do something, right? And I mean, actually, you may not have to if you choose to sit these 2-3 years and do nothing and then start looking for another job. But if you really want to do something, you have to deal with this. And I found that there are things that you can do to deal with this successfully. And you should probably start doing it now. Sam Hornsey, she had a very good TEDx presentation where she said this someday, it's not a day next week, and I love it. Because if you postpone, and even this is even Pascal, one of Pascal's favorite wordings, right? Never wait. And I subscribe to this. And if you want to get started, you have to get started somewhere. And I've taken again these two areas, saying, okay, if you want to look at things we can do from an action perspective or an organization perspective, what are the things we can do? I don't have time to go through all of them. Again, if you want to know all of them, you know where to find me. I'd be very happy to talk about it. But I want to give you a high level of all 6 and then deep dive in 2 of them. From an action perspective, we should start thinking about what I call lift and shift plus. I'll get into this in a second, because this is very important also in your ways of thinking when you're thinking about transformation or using AI in insurance. You also have to be realistic, and this one is particularly pointed at senior management, because the organization, back to the fear of failure, back to the not invented here, back to the protecting the jobs, the organization will tend to tell you the things are better than they actually are. I've seen many examples where IT tells the management that we have our systems are working fantastically well. You don't even have to worry about it. There's no problems. We can easily integrate, which is absolutely not the case. So you have to be realistic when you approach this. And I'm not saying you have to be overly critical, but you just have to be realistic and don't be over ambitious in where you're starting. And then the last is just start doing it. Never wait. Just start doing it, because if you wait, nothing will happen, right? So this is from an action perspective. Organizational is more complex, because now we're really working with people. I find that when you start working with transformation and people, the only way you can get, and now I'm sorry, I'm getting a little out of the AI topic, but and more into actual business transformation or digital transformation. When you start working with larger transformation projects, in order for that to be successful, you need you need to take new people in from outside. You cannot do a business transformation successfully with your existing team. You need new input, you need new talent, you need new capabilities. And that gives you how can I say this? That gives a wrong HR structure, because these new people will come at a higher cost. And that's a fact. If you get new people in to work with your transformation and AI, they will come at a higher cost than the people that you have today, which means that you'll have a problem explaining the salaries and everything. So you have to perform an HR structure project where you tell the people that you have what it takes for them to get on the same level as the people you're hiring, and make it realistic for them to understand why they're at the level they are today and how they can get to this new level. This would give you the motivation that you need for your existing people to support the new initiatives. It's a completely different webinar, but it's one of the foundations that enables you to get the organization to change, and not only a few people. Supporting this is the concept of process mining, which is also extremely important for you to demonstrate the results of what you're doing. And then lastly, the IT architecture, which is closely connected to the lift and shift, and the two ones that I want to talk about. Lift and shift plus is a concept of working and accepting that you have the legacy systems that you have, but also at the same time understanding that whenever we do something that's a little more complex than just not complex, then we lift it out of our existing legacy systems and into a new platform. That could be low-code, that could be whatever you want to call it. But don't keep changing or implementing new things into your existing legacy systems. It may be easier, it may be cheaper, it may be faster. It may even be faster. But think about the future. If whenever you do, let's say that you want to implement a new CRM system, yes, you can probably buy a CRM system on add-on to your existing legacy system, but that will not help you get rid of your technical debt. Likely it will not even make you work faster. Instead, if you take whatever functionality you need for the CRM system from the legacy and move into a new, smarter software or application, then over time, when you do this, if you do this consistently, over time, you will find that you've actually lifted out all the fast-moving applications, fast-moving elements of your legacy systems into new code systems. And this is a very simple and pragmatic way of working with core modernization. You don't touch the core because it's too expensive. It takes too many years. It's too cumbersome and too expensive. And at the end of the day, the core system replacements I've been part of has all been taking years. And when you launch the new core system, you celebrate with a long list of change requests, because the world has moved on in those 2 years you've been working with the core system modernization. So think of when you are working with AI, when you are working with new things, think of lifting it out of your core system and establish a new platform to work with. And that is pretty much close to the IT architecture. I'm a firm believer, and because I can see it work, of what Gartner or BCG, they call the two-speed or multi-speed IT, where you split up your legacy system, split up your enterprise architecture into at least 3 layers. Your systems of record, which can be seen as your legacy system today, the financial data, the transactional data that you shouldn't touch very much, because if you touch them, you touch the heartbeat of the organization. On top of that layer, you separate your level of your systems of differentiation, where you put your business process management systems, your workflow systems, your rule systems. You take them out of your legacy systems, your core. You connect a new system, the low code, no code, or whatever systems you choose. But that layer is faster to work with. It's connected to your legacy system through APIs, but it's faster to work with. Also, out of the hypothesis, if you screw up in your work processes, it doesn't matter as much as if you mess up in your core data systems. On top of this, then you have your front ends, your apps, your engagement platform, which is systems that you work with that you can change basically overnight. If you separate your systems like this, then think about what I said before with the lift and shift plus. You take functionality out of your systems of record, You move it either to the systems of differentiation or to the systems of engagement where you can work with it faster. And that enables you to include AI. It enables you to respond to customer service challenges, as we saw earlier as well. And it basically enables you to turn around your business significantly faster. These were the two things that I really wanted to talk about when you're talking about how do you mitigate the cultural boundaries and the organizational boundaries to change. I think I'll be stopping my talk here. Thanking you for listening. I want to say that right here, the part of this presentation is based on this white paper that we wrote a couple of months ago, and if you want a copy, just contact us and we'll send it to you immediately. And it also elaborates on some of the things that I said. I don't know if there is any comments or people who want to ask me something. I see there are some questions here. Oh, that's a very good question here. If the motor industry in the KSA ready to adapt the technology? Yes, it is. I think the Saudi market is quite advanced, actually, to be honest, leveraging a lot of centralized functionalities in the motor industry. I also see in the world of e-data's products that there's a lot of things that we are and can do for that market, simply because the industry is not there at the moment. But to the question, can the legacy system adapt to this? Let me just go back to this one, if I can. Where does it go? The idea of non-intrusiveness, because regardless of whether you're working without a claims management system, whether you're working with Excel as a claims management system or your underwriting system, applying non-intrusive AI solutions will enable you to work with AI, will enable you to work with the new tools. And that's why when I'm talking about, that's why I'm so much underlining or highlighting the non-intrusiveness part, simply because it enables you to get started. It simply enables you to get started without rocking the boat too much. And to me, this is an absolute success criteria for getting started. And I think I answered most of the questions with this. If there's not anybody else who have something to say, then I will thank you all very, very much for tuning in, listening. And of course, this recording will be available so you can skip through the most important parts when you get there. So everybody, thank you so much for joining, and I wish you a fantastic day. Thank you, and bye-bye.